Hello friends, let us start problems on TEC and NEC, that is Thevenin's equivalent circuit and Norton's equivalent circuit. Problem number 1 is displayed on the screen, says find TEC for the following circuit, that is Thevenin's equivalent circuit. We know that Thevenin's equivalent circuit means you will have to find equivalent of the whole circuit with respect to A and B, having only one voltage source VTH and having only one resistance, that is RTH, connected in series. That is, we have to follow or we have to find VTH and RTH with respect to two given points, which are A and B, which is in this case, this is A and this is B. So we knew that to find VTH, we first of all open circuit A and B. In this case, A and B are already open circuited. So we can find voltage VTH across A and B. So I can consider this as plus, this as minus VTH. Voltage across battery, 8 volt is given. Voltage across this battery is minus plus 18 volt. So what we can do is, we can find voltage across this 6 ohms also. As we can see, the battery is connected in a way will source a current in this direction. Therefore, we will have some voltage across this and some voltage across this. This voltage across 6 ohms can be found out by using voltage division rule. So voltage across 6 with a given polarity is equal to supplied voltage, which is 18, multiplied by 6 itself, which is divided by total resistance in the series circuit, which is 6 plus 3, which is 9. So it comes out to be 12 volt. So how much voltage across this 6 ohms is 12 volt. Now you may get wondered, how do I apply voltage division rule in these two resistances, which is 3 and 6? Are they connected in series? Even though they don't appear to be, but in this case they are connected in series. The reason is that since this is open circuited A and B, this 3 ohms will not come in the circuit. That's the reason why 3 ohms and 6 ohms are connected in series. Finally, we have voltage across 6 ohms as 12 volt. Now, if you apply KVL in this loop, you can get VTH. Let us begin. I'll start with 8 volt battery. So negative to positive clockwise, I'll get positive 8. Positive to negative, I'll get minus VTH. That is, negative to positive, I'll get positive 12. And voltage across 3 can be considered as 0 volt, since no current is flowing through these 3 ohms because of the open circuit. So I'll say this whole equal to 0. So VTH comes out to be 20 volt. As given in the problem, we have to find TEC, for which we have to find two values, VTH and RTH, out of which we already have the value of VTH. Let us go on finding RTH now. To find RTH, we first of all short circuit A and B. So short circuiting A and B, and we find the current flowing from A to B, which is ISC in this case. So I can say this is ISC loop current flowing in this circuit. We don't know what current is flowing through this circuit, but we can assume, let's say, I1. Now by applying KVL to loop 1 and loop 2, I'll get two equations, and by solving simultaneously, I will get the value of ISC. So in loop 1, by KVL, I can write addition of all the resistances in loop 1, which is 6 plus 3 becomes 9 times ISC. Then from the shared branch, I1 is flowing, which is in opposite direction as that of ISC. I can say minus 6 times I1 equal to summation of all voltage sources in this loop, that is first loop, in clockwise direction. So in clockwise direction, if I scan this loop, I have only one voltage source which goes from negative to positive as positive 8, which I will say equation 1. In loop 2, applying KVL, we will get 6 plus 3, 9. So positive 9 times I1 minus 6 times ISC, which will be equal to positive 80, which is equation 2. By solving these two, I can get the value of ISC. After solving these two equations simultaneously, you will get value of ISC equal to 4 ampere. Of course, after solving them simultaneously, you will get value of I1 also, but the value of I1 is useless for our problem. Since we have VTH equal to 20 volt and ISC equal to 4 ampere, I can get RTH, which is VTH upon ISC, which is 20 by 4, which comes out to be 5 ohms. So finally, for the given circuit, I can have VTH with 20 volt and RTH with 5 ohms. So VTH came out to be 20 volt and RTH came out to be 5 ohms. So this is how we actually find Thevenin's equivalent circuit for a given problem. To summarize, what we did is, first of all, we locate 2 points A and B. We open circuit A and B. We find voltage of A with respect to B called as VTH. After that, we short circuit A and B. We find current ISC. After getting ISC, VTH upon ISC is equal to RTH. And therefore, we can find VTH and RTH by following the said procedure. So now we can start with a second problem. Second problem is appeared on your screen. Consider the following circuit N contains only DC sources and resistances, where R equal to 2 ohms, then the current flowing through R, consider that as 1.5 ampere, and then R equal to 0 indicates I equal to 3 ampere. If the value of R is equal to 1 ohms, what should be the value of I? To summarize this network which they have given N is unknown to us. The only information that they have given that it consists of DC sources and resistances. So in a way, it is a linear network. If it is a linear network, then your Thevenin's theorem is applicable to this circuit. We know that a circuit which is linear in nature can be represented by its Thevenin's equivalent circuit having only one voltage source, having only one resistance connected in series. So in fact, I can represent the given network like this. Plus minus VTH and RTH having 2 points, let's say A and B, to which this R is connected, through which current is flowing, let's say I. In case number 1, what they say? In case number 1, they say R is equal to 2 ohms and I equal to 1.5 ampere. So I'll get plus minus VTH RTH, which is nothing but the given network. Thereafter, there is R connected having 2 ohms value, through which current of 1.5 ampere is flowing. I can in fact say this 1.5 ampere is a loop current through this. Referring to the circuit, I can get some equation for current like this by having Ohm's law, that is voltage is equal to current into resistance. So I can say VTH can be written as 2 plus RTH times 1.5, or further expanding, I can write VTH is equal to 3 plus 1.5 times RTH. I will say this as equation number 1. I have got equation number 1 by referring to the first case. Similarly, we can get second equation from case number 2. So what we can see is we will get equation in terms of VTH and RTH. By solving them, VTH and RTH can be calculated. So let us see what case 2 says. Case 2 says when R equal to 0 ohms, the current flowing through that circuit is 3 ohms. R equal to 0 ohms means you have to replace R with short circuit, and thereafter you have to show current as 3 ampere for the same network. So you'll get circuit like this, plus minus VTH having resistance RTH, equivalent resistance. There will 2 points across which R is equal to 0, and therefore the resultant current was 3 ampere. So this 3 ampere can be taken as a loop current, and by applying KVL or by applying simply Ohm's law, voltage will be equal to current into total resistance of the circuit. So I can write VTH equal to 3 times RTH. I can refer this equation as 2. Referring to the first equation again, which was VTH equal to 1.5 times RTH plus 3. That was equation number 1. As we know, VTH equal to 3 RTH, I can substitute in equation number 1. So substituting the value of VTH from equation 2 to equation 1, we will get 3 times RTH equal to 1.5 RTH equal to 3. So I can get 1.5 RTH equal to 3, or I can get RTH equal to 3 upon 1.5, which comes out to be 2 ohms. So this is the value of RTH. From this, I can get now VTH, because if you see equation number 2, it was 3 times RTH. So it is 3 times RTH, which comes out to be 3 into 2, which is 6 ohms. So now we have VTH value as 6 and RTH value as 2. Finally, we have this type of circuit. Let us go back to the question and see what they are asking you for. In the question, they ask you at the end, if R equal to 1 ohms, you have to find the value of I. So now they are asking you to connect a resistance having value as 1 ohms, and you have to find the value of I. Now this I can be found out by simply Ohm's law, which will be I is equal to total voltage or supplied voltage divided by total resistance. So voltage is 6 and total resistance is 3, which comes out to be 2 ampere. So what is the answer? Current through this circuit, if 1 ohms resistance is connected, is 2 ampere. So in this case, the value of I comes out to be 2 ampere. I'm sure you understood this sum. With this, now we can go to the next problem. So let us start with question number 3, appeared on your screen. So they are asking you the value of RTH between P and Q. P and Q points are as shown. We know the standard procedure to get RTH. The standard formula is VTH upon ISC. So we need to find two values, VTH and ISC. Let us get VTH first. How do we get VTH? We always have VTH across P and Q, which are open circuited points. We should get VTH across this. It means this is the parallel point, so I can say this point is VTH. In fact, VTH is equal to voltage across 1 ohms through which I0 current is flowing. So I can get relation between VTH and I0. So I can write VTH equal to 1 times I0, which is I0 itself. So if I get the value of I0, it is as good as getting VTH only. If you observe this carefully, because of the 10 volt, there is voltage across 1 ohms, which will be again 10 volt. If you see the dependent source having magnitude as 3 I0, across which one more resistor element is connected, Therefore, same voltage can be copied here with magnitude as 3I naught. Secondly, the current which is flowing through this terminal is I naught. At this node, we know that no current will go towards Q side because it is open circuited. So the whole current will take a turn towards this, will have polarity across this 1 ohms as plus and minus because of I naught. The polarity again at load side will be plus and minus. Let us now apply KVL to this load in clockwise direction in order to get I naught. So I'll start with 10 volt. So moving clockwise, I get negative to positive as positive 10 volt. So I got positive 10. Then negative to positive, I have positive 3 I naught. Then positive to negative, I have 1 times I naught can be taken as I naught only. Whereas positive to negative, again 1 times I naught can be taken as I naught only. And this can be equated to 0. So after solving this, you will get I naught, which will be equal to minus 10. So what is the value of I naught? It is minus 10 ampere. We already established a relation between VTH and I naught. So we saw that VTH is I naught itself. So now I can say that VTH is also minus 10 volt. So on this slide we have seen how to get VTH. In the next slide we will see how to get the value of ISC. Once we have VTH and ISC, we will have a ratio of them in order to get RTH. So in this we will study how to get ISC. So let us short circuit these 2 points P and Q and finding the current flowing from P to Q, which is ISC. This was I naught current which was given in the problem itself. Now we see clearly a short circuit is placed across a resistor. We know by the previous problems and we have in fact applied this. So this 1 ohms can be neglected. Now if 1 ohms is neglected, the reason behind it is no current is flowing through this. And if you see, meaning I can conclude that in this circuit I naught equal to 0 ampere. There is a dependent source which depends on I naught, which is 3 I naught. Can I say that 3 I naught will also become 0 volt just because I naught, that is control element, is equal to 0. Since 3 I naught is equal to 0 volt, this voltage source will supply no voltage. We know that when a voltage source supplies no voltage can be replaced with short circuit by neglecting this voltage source or replacing voltage source with short circuit. Now we can say that, so this 1 ohms is also redundant now. Now whatever remaining, so what do we get? We start with 10 volt battery. After that, across it we have 1 ohms value resistance. Below this we have one more resistance, 1 ohms. The above resistance is neglected, replaced with short circuit. This resistor is also short circuited, and thereafter we have a short circuit through which ISC current is flowing. If you see this, voltage across this is 10 volt just because 10 volt and 1 ohms are connected in series. If I consider this as a reference node, that is ground, I can consider this ISC by simply applying Ohm's law. So I can say ISC equal to 10 divided by 1, that is 10 volt divided by 1 ohms, which will be 10 ampere. So in the previous slide we calculated VTH. In this slide we have calculated ISC, which came out to be 10 ampere. So we had VTH equal to minus 10 volt. RTH is VTH upon ISC. VTH came out to be minus 10. ISC we got as 10. So it results in minus 1 ohms. So the value of RTH is minus 1 ohms. You may get wondered, so how do we get RTH value as negative? we know the fact that resistances are never negative, resistances are always positive. But let me tell you, in Thevenin's theorem, the resistance that we find is not that physical resistance that you use practically. It is a resistance of the overall circuit. If your overall circuit is containing dependent sources, there is a probability that your resistance may come out to be negative, because these dependent sources consist of transistors, and at some given point, at some voltage or currents, your transistor may operate in negative resistance region, which again comes in and reflect in the value of RTH, and that's the reason why in this case RTH value that we have got is negative. So the final answer is RTH equal to minus 1 ohms between P and Q. So I'm sure you have understood all three problems in this part, that is part 1 video. Thank you so much for watching the video. Stay tuned to Ekeeda, subscribe to Ekeeda.